In the ancient land of Egypt, the gods were not distant figures in the sky. They lived in every breath of the Nile, in the rising of the sun, and in the eternal struggle between life and death. For the Egyptians, existence itself was a fragile balance between Ma'at, the principle of order and truth, and Isfet, the forces of chaos and destruction. And in this world of myth, the gods themselves became warriors in battles that defined the destiny of the cosmos. The story begins with Osiris, the wise and beloved king. He taught humanity agriculture, law, and civilization. Under his reign, Egypt flourished like never before. By his side was his wife Isis, goddess of magic, wisdom, and love, who embodied devotion and cunning intelligence. Yet jealousy burned in the heart of his brother Set, god of storms, deserts, and violence. Set envied Osiris's throne, the people's love, and the prosperity that he could not create. In secret, he plotted the downfall of his brother. Set prepared a magnificent chest, decorated with gold and carved to fit the body of Osiris perfectly. At a great banquet, he presented it as a game. Whoever fit inside would win it as a gift. One by one the guests tried, but none matched. When Osiris lay inside, the lid slammed shut, sealed with molten lead. With triumph, Set's followers rushed the chest into the Nile. The king of the living was gone, drowned in the dark waters. Egypt was thrown into mourning, and Set seized the throne. But Isis would not abandon her husband. With grief and determination, she searched across the land until she found the chest in the land of Byblos. She brought it home, hiding it in the marshes. Yet Set discovered the secret, and in fury he tore Osiris into 14 pieces, scattering them across the land of Egypt. The kingdom was broken, its god-king dismembered. But Isis, with the help of her sister Nephthys and the jackal-headed god Anubis, gathered each fragment. With magic and the first act of mummification, she reassembled him, breathing life long enough to conceive a son, Horus. Horus was raised in secret, hidden in the marshes from Set's wrath. Under the protection of Isis, he grew into a falcon-headed warrior, destined to avenge his father and reclaim the throne. When he came of age, Horus challenged Set before the tribunal of the gods. For 80 years the gods debated, unable to decide who should rule. Set, the brother of Osiris, or Horus, the son and rightful heir. Their conflict was fierce and filled with trials. They raced boats down the Nile, they transformed into beasts, they fought hand-to-hand in savage duels. In one battle, Set gouged out Horus's eye, but Thoth, the ibis-headed god of wisdom, healed it. That eye became the eye of Horus, symbol of protection, healing, and the triumph of order. In another fight, Horus mutilated Set, striking at his manhood. Both gods were scarred, but neither gave up. At last, Osiris himself, now ruler of the underworld, spoke from beyond. He demanded justice. His son must inherit his throne. The tribunal agreed, and Horus was crowned king. Set was banished to the desert, forever the god of storms and barren lands. Through this myth, the Egyptians explained why every pharaoh was the living Horus, protector of Ma'at, while chaos always lingered at the edges of the world. But the struggles of the gods did not end with Horus and Set. High above, every night the sun god Ra sailed his boat through the underworld. There he faced Apophis, the great serpent of chaos, who tried to devour the sun and plunge the cosmos into eternal darkness. Each night Ra fought alongside loyal gods, sometimes even aided by Set, to strike down the serpent with spears and spells. The victory was never final. Every dawn was proof that Ra had triumphed once more, but every sunset meant the battle would return. For the Egyptians, this was the eternal reminder that chaos could never be destroyed. It could only be resisted. Other gods, too, had their moments of conflict. When humanity rebelled against Ra, he unleashed the lion-headed goddess Sekhmet. Her fury was unstoppable. She slaughtered humans in rivers of blood, and her rage threatened to wipe out mankind. To save the world, Ra tricked her by pouring thousands of jars of beer mixed with red dye across the fields. Thinking it was blood, Sekhmet drank until she collapsed. Her wrath turned to slumber. Thus mercy overcame destruction. The goddess Isis herself once challenged Ra for supremacy. Crafting a serpent from his own saliva and earth, she placed it in his path. When it bit him, even the sun god was powerless. Writhing in pain, Ra begged for healing. Isis offered help, but only if he revealed his secret name, the source of his divine power. Reluctantly, Ra whispered it, and Isis gained magic greater than any other. Through wisdom and cunning, she had bested the king of the gods. These myths were not just entertainment, they carried deep meaning. They explained the floods of the Nile, the scorching heat of the desert, the storms that swept the land, and the eternal question of why good and evil coexist. Politically, they justified the power of the pharaoh. Every king was Horus, victorious over Set, guardian of Ma'at. Every festival was a reenactment of these cosmic dramas, celebrated in temples like Karnak and Luxor, where priests walked along the avenue of the sphinxes carrying the statues of gods, repeating the victories of order over chaos. But what do these stories tell us? That in the eyes of the Egyptians, chaos was never gone. Set was not destroyed. Apophis was not slain forever. Sekhmet could return in wrath. The gods themselves could be tricked, wounded, and challenged, yet always balance was restored. The struggle was the point. Life was a fragile balance between creation and destruction, and the role of gods and men alike was to fight every day to preserve harmony. And so, for thousands of years, the Egyptians told and retold these tales of Osiris the king who died, Isis the faithful, Horus the avenger, Set the betrayer, Ra the eternal sun, and the endless battles that shaped their universe. Even today, when we look at the Eye of Horus, the scarab beetle, or the carvings on temple walls, we see not just art but echoes of a world view that believed the world itself survived only through struggle. The conflicts of the gods were not myths locked in stone. They were the heartbeat of Egypt, an eternal reminder that order must always rise against chaos, and that balance is the true secret of life.